Hey everyone, my name is Zach Rucker.
My name is Iman Sultani, and I'm a senior creative currently at Media Arts Lab.
Hi everybody, I'm Matthew, but my professional alias has become M.AD. It was great. The work that we did as students was incredible. We did stuff that was so much fun that to this day we will still talk about, and that ultimately helped me get in the door at one of these agencies. I was not one of those people that had a wagon behind me full of awards. So what got me in the door was my passion projects that I'd done in my M.AD school, and my sort of my hedonism, for lack of a better word, my interest in fun.
School was good. School was actually better than good. School was great. It was the only way I probably could have ever ended up where I am today. Hands down, actually. I don't think if I tried to do ad school on my own or, tried to find another way into the industry, I wouldn't be where I am.
This is not like a discipline that is very specialized. This is a discipline for the multi-potentialite, if that makes any sense. So if you're like someone who's very much into one area, you unfortunately will probably not really do well in advertising. You're here to know, and this is it. At least this is my experience, in my opinion. Because you get to do like a bunch of different things, quite frankly. Like we do strategy, you do creative, you write, you produce videos, you go on production, you do casting. So again, like there is a huge skill set required for this to kind of like work out. And if you're not adaptable, you will probably not be very good, because literally anyone can change the course of the stuff that you are setting. I met a bunch of cool people. We did a lot of cool projects. We had very cool lessons, or like good classes. I particularly loved the strategy class that we took there. I loved my photography classes. Manolo literally made me ride a bike for I think like 10 kilometers on our first photography trip, and I had never been on a bike. And the poor guy, like I didn't tell him obviously because I wanted to go, and he kept like just coming up just slowly to check in on me. So that was fun. But I love photography until this day. Like that was something that I picked up in school that I still do, and I actually even get paid for sometimes, which is pretty cool. So that's a good side skill that I picked up. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. And I think we kind of learned that in school, because again, I came from a very regimented, like very rigid kind of like type of schooling. And then I went into like this very free-flowing, very kind of like, things spontaneously happening, people at a corner sitting together, coming up with ideas. It was like definitely not what I was trained to do. So that was like pretty interesting for me, I guess, because I had to shed the academic, background.
Magical things happened over the course of those 2 years. First of all of my teachers were working at agencies I would have given an arm to be at. So I was getting to go to classes every day in these agencies, meet people, get a sense of like what the atmosphere was like. It's just it's an opportunity that you would never get otherwise. I knew when I graduated already some shops that weren't going to be right for me versus ones that were, based on these sort of privileged moments I was afforded through the program.
You get the entire theoretical experience of being in advertising in your first year when you're in school. And then at your second year, you get the actual pragmatic kind of like, very well, the very, detailed experience of it being very practical, which is how we kind of like learned how to operate, or like how to apply the theories that we've learned in our first year onto, the actual work. And I personally did like the entire year in internships. I interned in 3 different agencies that were kind of like honestly life-changing. And I'm not even like saying that just like that. Like it's been life-changing for me. My first internship was at Ogilvy, and at the end of my my year then, basically what happened was that I got an offer from Ogilvy. I had just left with a campaign that had won all of the Cannes Lions that year, which was insane. And I was just like an intern, and I did this with a bunch of other interns under a creative director that was also from Miami Ad School. So So yeah, it absolutely did change my life. And again, I am an international student, and so was my partner, who's Brazilian, and we both got an offer at the end of our internships, and we both got our visas basically because of all the work that we've done in our year of internships. So that was pretty cool, I guess, for us. Like, that was a door that probably would not have been, that easy to open, I guess, for someone, for people like us in that case. But then also, I think, interestingly enough, the job that I got, which is, again, ever since I graduated, I was hired by TBW and the Arts Lab, and I'm still there. It's been 4 years now. And we got that job literally at the graduation day. There's like a fair, like a portfolio fair, like a portfolio review session. And what happens is basically the school would send out all links to the books that were built, or like the portfolios that were built throughout the 2 years. And then they would send them to recruiters in different places. And obviously, one of the creative directors saw my book, and he really, really liked it. He liked the work, and he wanted to talk to me.
The most important part is that this leads you to a capital C career. Like, I didn't know what I had in store. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this like 2-year thing or whatever, and we'll see how it goes. And I realized quickly that this is such a legitimate career, that this is advertising. This is where all of the money is from all of the brands in the entire world. And you get to be the slice of pie that is so fun about it. And you get to tell stories, and you get to find out who you really are. And you're going to get paid doing it, because the career is really, really damn good. I'm a copywriter at Droga 5. I got hired about 3 months ago, I guess you could say, technically. Droga 5 is the #1 ad agency of 2020, and top 5 of all the lists in the previous years. I wake up every day like so stoked. It's a lot of work, and sometimes it's really, really tiring. But every day I wake up and I'm like, I just get to have ideas today. That's crazy. Like, I just get to write. Today I just wrote stupid scripts for Kit Kat that are so fun and dumb, and I get paid to do that.
I've worked on brands, everything from Facebook to smaller stuff like Sheetz convenience stores, which is like very random, but they have such an appetite for wild activations and cool things. We did a series of films that was like a live impromptu game show with Wayne Brady. That was like super fun. My favorite account that I've worked on and sort of become a steward of the brand is Virgin Hotels. Now, this pro tip from me to you: if you have the opportunity to work on a hospitality brand like a hotel, that's it. Because you go, you guys, and you shoot the ad at the hotel. So you don't travel. You just leave your suite and you go downstairs and you film things. And it's like Monopoly money. So you just order whatever, drinks forever, and then there's no bill. You just sign it. You're like, tip forever. Good for you. So anyways.
We had just started kind of like on Apple TV Plus, and we're working on Ted Lasso. If anyone has seen the show, Ted Lasso is like a huge show for Apple TV, and I think it was like their biggest success, like after launching for a couple of years. So we were like working on this show, but then it was like, typically at M.AD we shoot a lot of like television, we do a lot of broadcasts, we do huge productions. But this, like, when you're basically trying to do work for entertainment, the presence of the character is very different. And so we had to adapt to like digital presences and social presences, and kind of like building personas online, and tone of voice. And that was like mostly an exercise in strategy for me as a writer, but also an exercise in writing. So I think that was like a very unique experience for me that I haven't necessarily had before, because I had to like think of how would this account kind of like come to life, in what type of voice, and how can I convey that. And we did a bunch of stuff for Ted Lasso, but then the piece that we did for Twitter on Say Something Nice Day was just like a very well received piece, and it really kind of like trended organically, very simple. And again, coming from an agency where we spend literally millions of dollars on everything that we do, to kind of like make something that literally cost us $0 was like a whole new avenue for us. And we were all kind of like perplexed that, oh my God, like this actually happened. Like Ted Lasso is trending on Twitter, how? And so I think that was like a very interesting thing. And again, to the point of adaptability, like if you think you're like, oh yeah, oh my God, I got all the good productions, the big productions, you don't know, like you might get an opportunity to do something different, and don't necessarily kind of like not take it just because it's different. I think it's nice. I've personally been like bouncing from different accounts. And I think like that has been very helpful. And then the last piece I think is like literally the biggest production we've ever been in. Me and my partner Saulo, we kind of like wrote and mood boarded this spot for AirPods. And it ended up being nominated for the Emmys last year. So that was like a big thing for us because we were, again, like we were juniors at this place when we wrote this, and when it was produced, it was like a huge production. The spot's called Bounce, and it was like pretty fun. And that was a good project because I feel like Apple does a lot of big productions, and any copywriter will get to do big production films and like big production advertising pieces, which are pretty fun in and of themselves and just really like captivating. It's a whole other process, and that was probably a huge learning curve for us because we had never necessarily taken a concept, I guess, from beginning to finish, from pages or an idea to an actual, like $12 million production, which was like insane. So I feel like that's also a very good, for me, that was like also a piece that had changed a lot for me. So those are like, I guess, the three biggest pieces that I wanted to share. And hopefully that was, good for you guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I hope that you enjoyed what we've shared today at the open house. My name is Tyler. I'm going to be one of the admissions advisors helping you guys to start your creative careers here at the Miami Ad School with our 4 portfolio programs: art direction, copywriting, photography and video, and design, as well as our boot camps. We are well equipped to make you well equipped for the creative industry. And my job is to help you transition smoothly from prospective to enrolled student. We have financial aid and scholarships available for all of our portfolio programs, and our 4 U.S. locations, Miami, Atlanta, San Francisco, and New York, as well as our international locations, are ready for you guys to go ahead and enroll when you are ready. So feel free to go to our website, www.miamiadschool.com, hit apply now, start your application, and if you have any questions, set up a call and we will be happy to help you.